Power outage. Snow fell silent and heavy in the night until somewhere in a rural woodscape a tree sagged, gave up, and collapsed on a buzzing line. In homes all around, lights went out like blown candles, while refrigerators ceased their hum. In warm beds, couples snuggled closer, waiting for dawn and light to see. But obligations must be met, work must get done. A pickup rolled out of the woods, turning on the snow-covered asphalt. The first one out, it broke trail, creeping, getting a feel for the traction. The driver studied the few dark homes on his route, black windows set in white siding. They brought to his mind images of huge skulls with dark, hollow eyes, resting, waiting. He shivered, lit a cigarette, thankful for hot coffee, brewed with flashlight and fireplace. This morning he wished for a longer commute, wanted more time to absorb the white, wooded silence. The noise would begin soon enough, electricity restarting, lights popping on, illuminating cold, dark sockets.
Thank you, Ed Turry. Power outage.
Hi, my name is Catherine Roth. I'm going to read to you a poem I wrote called Johnny Chapman. It's dedicated to Johnny Appleseed, who was born over 200 years ago, still an inspiration today. Johnny Chapman. Scatter these seeds so light, why call it work? Find some careful crevice so the rain may find them. I want to be more like you, not too worried or burdened, to enjoy this flinging, maybe even to sing. Kindness, small good deeds, and yes, to set out in the dark. Know you will meet the knowing and the unknowing, face what we all must face. Just a satchel filled with seeds. It helps to remember the old tree, ripe with apples, glistens in the sun.
Hi, I'm Marcy Bransky, and I've written a hustle, which is an ancient Persian form with at least 5, but no more than 15 autonomous couplets, moving from general sentiment to more personal feelings, often about love and loss. In the first verse, the same word is at the end of both lines. In remaining verses, that word is at the end of only the second line. Lines are from 16 to 20 syllables long. Warp and weft, a hustle. I zip the bag and tape every tiny hole caused by sharp edges to protect the cloth. Yet the moth finds entry to lay her eggs and nourish her offspring on my winter cloth. Never given to complimenting women, still Hemingway bragged about Hadley's talent. Ski hats and scarves she made from black unwashed wool, lanolin rich, waterproof cloth. The widow refuses to wear black for the service, chooses pink instead, more than enough darkness and undulating waves of grieving behind her, forming a sea of mournful cloth. In 1942, a wartime wedding gift, 2 red-striped dish towels and 3 jars of homemade jam. 5,000 loaves later, my aunt still blankets swelling dough with the threadbare cloth. If by chance they weave a flawless garment, native artists add a signature mistake, not the way machines speed weft across warp to produce bolts of perfect cloth. It was obvious to God after they did it, even if he didn't see them take the bite. Adam and Eve covering themselves with leaves, having not yet created cloth. I want to tell Afghan women about the platonic beauty of the Swan Lake Pas de Deux. But how do I communicate with faceless ghosts cloistered in centuries of mandated cloth? A friend and her priest lover met each Sunday after Mass before he turned to little boys. The Detroit Free Press finally exposing him, deluded, denuded man of the cloth. It's all I can touch of my best friend, dead since '87, the year her cancer won. A handkerchief she brought me from Switzerland, tiny chalet and Swiss flag embroidered on linen cloth. It used to be easy to sing hymns, murmur prayers, raise my eyes to the cross. Now I want to see all religion's symbols, or none of them, stitched on the lectern cloth. When my son's life spiraled downward, my sister consoled me with old saws about coming around, apples falling near the trees, and him cut from the same cloth. When I am most unraveled, I reach for a new pattern and yarn with downy loft, needles that lock strands together to arrest tears and craft an embrace of knitted cloth. Thank you.
The night ride. I rode in the car between them, leaning against the softness of my mother. My father's hands were steady on the steering wheel. He whistled under his breath. Shine on, harvest moon. On our right, the dark hill rose up in the night. I felt us sway in the curves of the narrow road as it wound through the valley. I smelled unseen barns and new-mown hay. There was no other place but this. I feared nothing. In the space between hills, a great orange moon rose above the horizon. My father whistled and drove on as though some god guided his hands and feet. Maybe he was God, my father. Maybe she was a goddess. And me, I was their chosen one.
Hi, my name is Mary Kelly, and last year I entered the Poets Night Out 2020 contest through the Traverse City Area District Library, and one of my poems was picked as a winning poem, and so that's the purpose of this video, and I am coming live from my bedroom here in Fife Lake. This is my sanctuary where I feel most comfortable and where I do a lot of my writing. Um, a little bit about myself. I am the proud mother of 5 children and I have 10 grandchildren. And I work at the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians in the legal department. I am the assistant to John Petoskey and Sean Cahill. I work there with great pride for the legal counsel for our tribal council. I'm a paralegal. Um, I I am half Irish and Ottawa, and so that's why I wanted to wear something today that kind of reflected who I am as a person. I'm wearing my choker that I'm pretty sure that Mr. Steve Perry made for me. So miigwech, Mr. Perry. My mother always said we were part Turtle Clan and Thunder Clan and also Bear Clan. And at 57 years old, I'm still learning about what these things mean to me as a Native American. Also very proud to be half Irish. My father was Irish, and so I'm wearing my lucky leprechaun hat. And I'm also wearing my flag pin because I am proud to be an American. I know that we had a rough year last year with presidential issues, and COVID, and I'm very hopeful for the future because I do believe in our Constitution. I do believe in this government and our country. And I just believe that for the most part, all people work together to do good, to live simple lives, and to enjoy their families and friends. Um, so with all of that said, I'm going to read my poem, which afterward I will talk a little bit about. And it is a little depressing, but it's the one that they picked. It's called Dead End. Stricken down, the torrent unreal, an ember of a spark lost, how it's deemed to be forgetfulness. Connections frayed, there's no fixing the gateway or a blown fuse. This is for the remainder of days. A hint stirs just above a fog bank of thought. The physical feel, too, if only we could grasp it. A dreamy state that makes you late, fumbling for keys and things. Things, what are they anyway? The decay of time wraps round your brain, squeezing and releasing what before you'd known. Nothing feels like home. You grope and poke about. People who knew you watch aghast. They try to reconstruct for you your past, but it's a far-fetched story at best. We caress our troubles, blow them through aged lips. Whenever, wherever will we find what we missed? A to-do list tracker, a calendar attacker. The beep chimes, but it's just a rhyme, and down it goes to a dead-end road. So if you didn't guess, this poem is about Alzheimer's, which is a devastating disease that many people suffer from. I worked with a couple of people whose family members suffered from that, and some eventually succumbed to it. My uncle recently passed away from it, and I just know what a devastating disease it is. And this poem is my reflection on what it means to me. So, as I said, that was the poem that they picked. It was a little depressing, and hopefully, if I ever get to enter another one of their contests, they'll pick one of my more upbeat or love poems. But this one does seem to touch everybody in some form or fashion, so that is probably why it won. Anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my reading, my very first one, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day. I wish you all well, and I hope this year brings us all nearer to being COVID free. I believe that it will. Thanks to all of those workers who go out of their way to help us to get through all of this. God bless the nurses. Gotta love them. My mom was a nurse. She was pretty awesome. Takes a special person to be that. So anyway, long-winded way of saying God bless you all. Take care. And I'll talk to you soon.
Fall. Harvest till you can't, till the seed falls in late image of the bloom, till the spade breaks in opposition. I'm tired. Forcing you to use your hands, the ones you wanted to keep clean, those hands built for more than you could dream. Look at those lines and follow them down. Harvest till there's nothing left, when all you see is bare earth, desperate as a weaning baby, dried up, pulled weeds. Harvest till there's nothing more to do but wilt, suckle the night, remember the day 'cause split into darkness, wait for snow, and fall asleep.
Michigan Men, for Jeff Fullwood in memory of Rick Morrison. All the while unloading wood, he remembered. Found him up near Goodhart, acting funny. He was a loner, had his cabin and his dogs. That was all he needed. He had hygiene problems, go a couple of weeks sometimes. Known him for near 30 years, my best worker and friend. He'd always show up before me. God, he was a worker. When he started, I fired the others. Never knew if they'd show up or not. I could have left my maul, my saw, my truck, keys to everything with him. Known him for near 30 years, my best worker and friend. He was always there before me. We'd talk between saw runs. He was slow but methodical. He could outlast me. Had a rhythm, he did, where I would race and attack and tire. He had a rhythm. We'd worked together near 30 years, my best worker and friend. I knew something was wrong. We were deep in the woods north of Goodhart when I found him. I knew something was wrong. He was acting funny. We'd worked together near 30 years, my best worker and friend. Didn't want me to call a doctor, but I told him he needed one and he was going to have one. I got an ambulance, told him I'd follow it in, told him not to worry, I'd be right behind. Last words we had. We'd worked together near 30 years, my best worker and friend. It was an aneurysm. He went into a coma. His eyes would open, but he never came back. They thought he would each time his eyes would open, but he never did. Never came back. We'd worked together near 30 years, my best worker and friend. Pulled the plug, they did. 56. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Greta Bolger, and the name of my poem is Provence Our Way. We could not speak the language, yet gathered everything we needed. Wine and herb sausages, sun-yellow eggs, cheeses and breads, sandalwood soap, and Guatemalan coffee. Even while traveling, we like to stay at home, make ourselves at home, move furniture and decor to our liking, settle in, lol. Our home in Carome, Vaucluse, Provence, was graced with gardens and vineyards, sky blue shutters, mountains in the distance, the air welcoming, warm. In the bedroom, the lavishly floral draperies were stuffed at the top, with foam sausages to make the pleats plump. The bed was two twins made into a king with blankets like mink. At the local bar, we joined the citizens gathered for beer, wine, lots and lots of cigarettes, many toting baguettes in narrow paper bags. The wines were seulement red, white, and rosé, explained to me emphatically, after which I ordered no more Chardonnay. And yes, we did leave Carome, careening around countless roundabouts to join friends, visit a market, a museum, art exhibits, restaurants, a park where we picnicked, all perfectly wonderful, lovely, grand. One of my favorite venues was a 3D exhibit of all manner of creatures, a beaver driving a jeep, 50 stuffed birds on pedestals, a dog sitting in front of his doghouse, and best of all, the round-eyed couple puppets perched in a high alcove that reminded me so much of you and me.
Most nights I wake up with a pit in my chest. There were thoughts that I that I can't place. Most nights I am restless and quiet won't come, so I lie there and wait for the sun. There's trouble that won't show its face. Then you came out of nowhere, and you cut through all the noise. I make sense of the madness when I listen to your voice. 'Cause darling, only you can ease my mind. Help me leave these lonely thoughts behind. 'Cause when they pull me under, I can feel my sanity starting to unwind. Darling, only you can ease my mind.
And by M. Daniela Castillo. And in the morning you'll see what trouble I'm in. You'll come into the house, and I'll wake up with a start, and my surprise won't blossom from the glass in my bed, but the sight of your face. I didn't think you'd come. Thank you.
Cats. They wander into our free hearts, purring, begging for attention. Food awaits for them every day. They scramble to munch it all up. Asking us for much, they do not. They wander into our free hearts, meowing to communicate. We do our best to interpret. While coming with low maintenance, high reward we get in return. They wander into our free hearts, with distinct and piercing pupils, giving us silky fur to pet, attention we give to please them, for felines represent our best. They wander into our free hearts.
Hello, this is Peter Kobes of East Bay Township, and this is my poem entitled The Storm at the End of the World. It's coming. With violence and beauty and power, a massive thunderstorm is marching across the dark blue waters of Lake Michigan at midnight on this very evening. You can feel it now. The warm August air catches in your hair and licks across your neck, leaving a moist kiss on sunburned skin. The sweet smells of longing and desire, loneliness and fear. At this late hour, all the world is asleep. Asleep or dead, you wonder. What difference could it possibly make now? The storm is coming, and nothing else matters. At the top of the bluff, white pine and hemlock arch their backs in the wind, flailing their broken limbs like eighth graders at a junior high school dance. While hundreds of feet below, dune grass shivers in the darkness as the waves grow taller, thrusting hard into the moist brown sand. Now the first flashes of lightning jump across the sky from cloud to cloud, from cloud to water and back into the sky, revealing everything you've tried to forget. The glassy shards of shattered promises, the wreckage of dreams denied, revised, and denied again. The voices calling you back for another swim in the deep water of lust and love. Now, at last, dark thunder pounds through your body as the rain begins to fall. You lean forward to accept each pulse of anger, each aching atom of absolution. Open your ragged soul and breathe. The storm is here, and nothing else matters.